what we're going to work with today is Final Cut Express. And the reason we're using this is it just gives us a broader range of filters, video effects, and the timeline I find a bit easier to understand from the perspective of Cinema 4D. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing you want to do is make sure you have all your files set up. So go to where your files are at, and for instance on my case I have my files here on my desktop, and I'm going to go down here to where it says, or up here actually, to where it says audio and video files. If I click and open that, well, I've got my little videos in here, my movie, this movie, this movie. So these are all, say these are all three of the movies that I want to use or utilize with my final video. I'm going to make sure I have all of those in there. Everything's ready to go. So you do all the pre-production work first. That means output all your movies, all your audio, and have it all set up and ready to go. You can always add stuff later, but it's good to have everything ready to go before you start, if you can. The other thing that here, so I'm going to look down, is I've noticed I don't have my audio file in here, so I'm going to go find that, and I know I do have it on my desktop. I get my desktop here in my Finder. So I'm going to go down here and Chant. This is the one I want to utilize, so I'm going to take it and put it up in my video folder, and I've added that to that. Alright, so that's ready to go, and so when I get ready to import my folder, not just my files, but my folder into Final Cut Express, it'll have everything that it needs. Alright, so I'm going to close that out, go down and go to my applications, my window. Again, you can also get applications on the Mac up here. There's a variety of ways of doing it. I'm going to go click Applications, Final Cut Express for our purposes. Wait for that to open. Alright, so you're going to get this window that fills pretty much all of your screen. Now these are movable, and you can, if you need to get back to your desktop, you can move those, but I'm just going to leave mine set the way it is, so we're just working completely in Final Cut Express. Now that we have this open, you'll notice I have some different windows here, and I'll explain a little bit about these, but for the most part it's all pretty evident what each one does. And this one over here we have our projects, so when we import our files you'll see everything over here. Sequence 1, that's what we're working in, it's the first sequence. And then again, they're set up just like folders. So you have a tab here, and then we have a folder here. So it's a little tab here, and in here we have our favorites, and then video transitions, video filters, video generators, audio transitions, and audio filters. They are just what they sound like. And you can also get those up here where it says effects. You can see you can reach them. So there's multiple ways to reach those in there. I like to stay in this window. Also, it talks about your duration or film. Again, you have a lot more options in Final Cut Express, as you can see here. It allows you to see things. It's just a much better video compositing tool. If we look up here, there's Viewer, and then this is where you would actually see your files unrendered, which means you can scrub through them and see what's going on. You can see what's happening with the audio that you have brought in. And then also, when you do add filters to the video or audio, they will be in here, and you can make transitions on the timeline based upon those. We look at what's called our canvas of our sequence. Again, here's where you're going to see what's happened your whole video after it's been rendered out. And I'll talk a little bit about rendering. Kind of like Cinema 4D, you have to push a render button and then let Final Cut Express render that, and then it takes all those transitions and everything you have in there and renders it into a complete movie, basically. Alright, and then down here, your timeline. Video, V1, V2. Again, you can layer video, so you can put one video on top of another. And audio, too. You could put multiple audio tracks in here. So again, you have stereo, so you have the two channels here and here. Alright, and then down here, if you want to make things bigger or smaller on your timeline, that's how you do it. And then your time, seconds here. Right, and last but not least, the little toolbar over here. Again, you only use a few of these for the most part, but this is for navigating your scenes along your timeline. For instance, cutting your film, selecting your film or your audio, zooming in on that, cropping, etc. And then you can see again when that audio file is playing, you can see how high the decibel range is here. Okay, so again, a ton of stuff. Looks daunting at first, but it's actually quite easy.